Hey Raiders fans, we're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Las Vegas Raiders. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. That way, you'll always stay up to date with breaking news and exclusive content. The buzz hitting the league today feels like a thunderbolt straight out of nowhere, and every insider I've talked to is whispering the same thing. Something massive has erupted inside the Raiders locker room. The name on everyone's lips right now is Maxx Crosby, the heart and soul of that defensive front, suddenly thrown into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Word is spreading like wildfire that he's been suspended over a doping issue, and whether the league confirms or denies the specifics, the rumor mill is absolutely exploding. Fans are in disbelief, teammates are stunned, and analysts are scrambling to understand how the franchise goes from full momentum to full crisis in what feels like the blink of an eye. And let me tell you, no one expected this twist, especially involving a player known for his relentless work ethic, his hunger, and that trademark fire he brings to every snap. The locker room vibes are shifting, and insiders claim voices are raised. Meetings are tense, and the team's top brass is in emergency mode, trying to control the narrative before it spirals even further. It's a moment that could define the entire season, and nobody knows which direction it'll swing. What's fueling the fire even more is the way this rumor surfaced. It didn't come from a polished press release or some official statement carefully crafted by the team's PR department. No, this started as a murmur, a quiet leak from someone who clearly knew more than they should. And within hours it ballooned into a storm nobody could ignore. People close to the organization are saying the coaching staff was blindsided, caught completely off guard by a situation they never saw coming. Imagine gearing up for a crucial stretch of the season, eyes locked on the bigger picture, and suddenly your defensive cornerstone is ripped away. The shockwaves are everywhere. Fans are asking how this slipped through the cracks. Players are wondering what it means for the brotherhood inside that locker room. And rivals are circling like sharks, sensing blood in the water. Even the league office seems tense, choosing their words carefully, clearly aware of how delicate and explosive this story is becoming. And here's the kicker. The rumor keeps evolving, twisting, reshaping itself as more voices add details, hints, and speculation to the ever-growing cloud surrounding Crosby's name. Behind closed doors, things reportedly look even messier. Coaches are said to be working around the clock, trying to rewire the defense without their emotional leader, while quietly hoping this situation somehow resolves faster than expected. But hope doesn't stop the questions pouring in from every corner. How long will Crosby be out? What triggered the suspension? Could this escalate into a larger investigation? The whispers suggest the team is bracing for the worst, even as they put on their strongest poker face for the cameras. And you know how it is. Once doubt creeps in, it spreads. Insiders claim certain players are confused, others are frustrated, and a few feel outright betrayed, not necessarily by Crosby, but by the chaos the situation creates. There's a sense that something bigger is brewing beneath the surface, that this suspension might just be the tip of a much deeper iceberg. And let me tell you, when you have that much uncertainty swirling around a franchise already under pressure, the tension becomes almost impossible to ignore. The shock factor isn't just coming from the suspension itself, but from who it involves. Maxx Crosby, the relentless powerhouse, the guy known for grinding through injuries, outrunning double teams, and setting a tone of raw intensity every time he steps onto the field. For someone with that reputation to be caught up in a doping rumor sends tremors through the entire football landscape. Critics are already forming their hot takes. Fans are split down the middle, and rival teams are pretending to stay neutral while secretly jumping into their group chats with disbelief. Meanwhile, social media has turned into a battlefield, with fans debating whether this is a tragic misunderstanding, a targeted leak, or something far more serious. And the Raiders? They're standing at the center of the storm, watching the narrative twist in real time as they try desperately to keep it from spiraling completely out of their control. You can practically feel the uncertainty hanging over them like a dark cloud. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. According to people close to the situation, the team was already dealing with internal tension long before this story broke. Nothing dramatic enough to hit the headlines, but the kind of simmering issues that slowly wear down a locker room's unity. Add this explosive rumor on top, and suddenly everything else that was quietly brewing has erupted into open-air concerns. Leaders inside the organization are reportedly holding meeting after meeting, trying to keep everyone focused and calm. But let's be real, losing your biggest defensive force impacts everything. It shifts strategies, shakes confidence, alters expectations, and forces everyone to face a new reality they didn't ask for. No matter how much the coaches preach resilience, the shadow of this situation looms over every conversation, every practice, every plan. And the truth is, until the dust settles, nobody knows what the team's future looks like. Fans are now glued to every insider post, every leaked quote, every cryptic message from players and coaches. The energy online is wild, part panic, part denial, part curiosity, part frustration. People want clarity, they want reassurance, they want answers, but the only thing coming out right now is more noise, more speculation, more conflicting reports that only make the situation murkier. And in times like this, silence from the organization becomes its own statement, whether they intend it or not. The Raiders' front office is walking a tightrope between protecting their player, protecting their brand, and preparing for the possibility that this entire saga could reshape not only their season, but their long-term plans. It's a moment dripping with drama, uncertainty, and high stakes. Everyone's waiting for the next piece of the puzzle to fall into place. But instead of clarity, all we're getting is more thunder rumbling in the distance. As the rumor spreads, the emotional fallout inside the Raiders' headquarters reportedly deepens. Some insiders claim that leadership figures are rallying behind Crosby, insisting that he deserves the benefit of the doubt until every detail becomes clear. Others are said to be wrestling with frustration, feeling the weight of yet another unexpected crisis crashing down on a team already trying to keep itself steady. And that divide, even if it's subtle, begins to influence the atmosphere around every conversation. Players are showing up to the facility with a mix of confusion and determination, trying to lock in, trying to act normal, even though the uncertainty surrounding their defensive anchor hangs like fog in every hallway. You can practically picture the coaching staff pacing, strategizing, attempting to maintain control over a situation that seems to be slipping through their fingers. And all the while, the rumor keeps growing, feeding off any silence, any hesitation, any unguarded moment from the organization. The fan base adds another layer to the chaos. They're not just reacting, they're emotionally spiraling in real time. One moment, there's hope that this is all exaggerated noise. The next moment, the panic sets in, painting the worst possible scenarios. Forums, comment sections, and social media timelines are overflowing with passionate takes, wild theories, heated debates, and desperate pleas for transparency. And the wildest part? None of them know what's actually true. It's all smoke, but the more smoke appears, the more everyone assumes there must be fire somewhere. Even neutral fans from across the league are tuning in, unable to resist the drama unfolding like a real-life sports documentary in fast forward. And for the Raiders, a franchise no stranger to dramatic storylines, this feels like yet another chapter in a history filled with twists, setbacks, and roller coaster moments that seem too unreal to be scripted. Meanwhile, talk around other teams is bubbling up too. Rivals are paying close attention, not because they're eager for gossip, but because a suspension involving a powerhouse like Crosby shifts the competitive landscape. Coaches from opposing squads are already rumored to be quietly adjusting strategies, recalibrating protections, and rethinking how they want to attack a defense suddenly missing its fiercest weapon. Even executives around the league are keeping an eye on the fallout, watching closely to see how the Raiders handle this boiling situation. Because how a franchise responds to crisis tells you almost everything about their culture. Are they steady? Are they fractured? Are they panicking behind the scenes? Those are the whispered questions bouncing around front offices across the league. And let's be honest, Nobody wants to admit they're intrigued, but you know they are. This is the kind of drama that sends shockwaves far beyond one locker room. Crosby himself remains the biggest mystery in all of this. Word on the street is that he's maintaining a fierce focus, refusing to let the noise derail his mindset. Some sources say he's angered by the rumors. Others suggest he's staying silent out of caution, waiting until every detail is sorted before speaking publicly. But that silence, whether intentional or not, only adds fuel to the fire. Fans are dissecting every social media post, every expression in practice footage, every slight pause in an interview from his teammates. They're searching for clues, reading between the lines, trying to connect dots that may not even be connected. And the truth is, that's what happens when a superstar gets caught in the eye of storm. Even the smallest detail becomes a headline. Even the faintest whisper becomes speculation. And even the absence of information becomes its own story. The Raiders coaches are reportedly grinding day and night to steady the ship. Defensive coordinators are redrawing plays, adjusting personnel, and trying to build a scheme that can survive without the heartbeat of their pass rush. But the challenge isn't just technical, it's emotional. Replacing talent is one thing. Replacing energy, leadership, presence, and intensity is something else entirely. Players feed off Crosby's fire, his voice, his attitude. Losing that changes the very chemistry of a team. And let's not ignore the human side of it. Some teammates are stunned, some are protective, some are skeptical, and some don't know what to feel at all. It's an emotional cocktail nobody prepared for, one that could either forge the team together or fracture them under the weight of uncertainty. And at this stage, nobody knows which outcome is more likely. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. As the noise grows louder and the tension climbs higher, the only certainty is that this story is far from over. More whispers are expected to surface, more reactions will erupt, and more twists feel almost inevitable. The Raiders are standing at a crossroads, caught between crisis and opportunity, between fallout and resilience. And the biggest question looming over everything is simple. How do they respond? Do they crumble under the weight of this shock? Or do they use it as fuel to ignite something deeper within the team? Right now, the entire football world is watching, waiting, refreshing feeds, trying to catch the next clue. It feels like a storm that could either fade into nothing or explode into something much bigger. And until someone steps forward with clarity, this rumor-soaked saga will keep pulsing through every conversation, every show, every debate, and every fan base craving the next chapter. Around the league, analysts are beginning to chime in with their own takes. Some say this rumored pairing makes perfect sense. A quarterback seeking stability, joining a franchise hungry for leadership. Others argue that the fit is more complicated, that stylistic clashes could emerge, and that expectations might balloon too quickly. But analysts thrive on uncertainty, and this rumor gives them a canvas to paint a dozen different scenarios. They dissect hypothetical play-action strategies, potential chemistry with receivers, and even how Maxx's presence might influence the locker room hierarchy. It creates content, discussion, speculation, the lifeblood of sports commentary. And with every news segment, every whispered opinion, every heated podcast debate, the rumor gains more weight. Even those who initially brushed it off now lean in, curious. Because sometimes, when enough people talk about the same possibility, it starts to feel less like imagination and more like inevitability. Still, nothing is official. Nothing is confirmed. And that uncertainty only heightens the intrigue. As the rumor reaches full volume, the fan base finds itself in a strange, emotional space, suspended between excitement and hesitation. They picture Maxx stepping confidently onto the practice field, commanding the huddle with a calm yet assertive presence. They imagine timing routes clicking, receivers snapping out of breaks with renewed precision, linemen protecting with a collective surge of purpose. At the same time, they guard their hearts, knowing how quickly hope can crumble. But hope is powerful, and once it takes root, it rarely leaves quietly. People keep refreshing their feeds, scanning for clues, watching for subtle changes in the team's messaging. They look for patterns, for hints, for signs that the whisper might soon become reality. And until something official breaks, whether confirming or dismissing the rumor, the speculation will only grow louder. Because right now, in this moment, belief feels just as real as fact. And sometimes, in the world of sports, belief is the spark that lights everything. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.